Yeah, so I started DJing in 1999. Uh, fresh graduate of high school. My parents. I was like a raver kid. It was the 90s. That's just what everybody did. It didn't matter what you were into, whether you played football or whatever. It was everybody went to raves, and I was going quite a bit. And you know, always a hip hop kid. Always fascinated by DJing. And then I was just like I started seeing people DJing all the time at these parties, and I was like, "Yo, I want to try that." And then for my 18th birthday, my parents got me a pair of turntables. There were some cheap little Gemini DJ in a box back then. Back then, yeah, like they had those kind of deals where like kind of like your controller now, but back then it was like a turntable, came with a mixer and all that.
I have that. That's how I
Yeah,
started too. Yes.
the Gemini
I still have it. Yes. In my basement.
XL 500s.
Yes. I will show
Yeah,
you the
I
whole
had
kit in the box.
yeah, that's how I started. And I kind of did that for like the first year. And then I was like in college then too, just straight rave kid. And I was just like DJing to my college friends, not really knowing what I was doing, but kind of just messed around for a bit. And then, I would go back home on the weekends and I would see all these other DJs and I was like, man, I want to get better. And so I just practice and practice and practice and practice. And then, you know, excuse me, somebody taught me how I wouldn't say taught me, but they explained beat matching to me because I was from New York. Nobody was trying to teach nobody anything. You got to figure it all out yourself. And there was no YouTube back then. There was no like Googling. There was no watching a video. There was none of that shit. So is it okay if I swear? Sorry. You guys care? All right. I'm just asking. I don't know. But
I don't care. Do your
so
thing.
yeah. So yeah, long story longer, started out just like as a kid, rave kid, DJing, playing like some crazy parties and stuff like that. And then I left college that year, moved out of the dorms, and then I started just getting kind of like good. And everybody around me was like super intimidated by me and all that. And I just kept practicing more. I just kept practicing more. I kept practicing more. I kept practicing more. And then I just came out like and I was just like, I never thought about it because especially in the 90s, there was a handful of female DJs. There was not, it's not like now how there's like a female DJ everywhere you turn. uh I was just like, I don't want to ever be just called like a female DJ. I want to be like just as good as the boys. And I just want to be good. Like so I just practiced as much as them. I didn't want any handouts. And it was just like bam, by like 2001, I played like 2, 3 gigs. And then this guy like literally asked me like, hey, do you want to be a resident at my club? And I was like, resident? I've only played 2 gigs in my life. And it was the biggest club in my hometown from Rochester, New York. At the time, it was the biggest club. And he asked me to be the Thursday night resident. And I was like, holy shit. Like, wow. Okay. So I like got into that. And then after that, these other like local kids, and they were younger. They were like much younger. And they were really good at scratching. And they were like 16 or 17. And I'm like 19 at the time. And I'm just like, I want to learn how to scratch. I want to learn how to scratch. And I had a residency with these guys, and I convinced them to teach me like 2 scratches. And again, like I said, back in the 90s or early 2000s, people that used to put labels on their records, they didn't even want what songs they were playing. Nobody would teach any skills. So I got these kids to teach me 2 scratches. And then I just kind of took it. And every day I gave myself like this regimen of like, you have to practice 3 hours a day. You have to practice 3 hours a day. And I was still living with my parents, and scratching I could do because I could do it in the headphones. So when I lived with my parents, they would always yell about the music if I was practicing all the time. So I learned how to scratch, and I did it because I can practice in the headphones. And then through scratching, I just practiced so much. And then I got to like a point where I started seeing like things online. And again, this is like in the days of AOL, and I saw this thing that this company Behringer was looking for a female DJ. And so I sent them like a video of me, and not even a video. I sent them one of my mixes, and then they flew me out to let's see, where was it? Seattle. And then they ended up booking me for the NAM show. You know what the NAM show is? The big show. And then through there, I got there. It's like this massive trade show with like every brand you can think of. And I had no idea going out at the time. Like I'm like some 20-year-old kid, like no idea. I go out there, I showcase their stuff. I end up meeting all these like bigger DJs and turntablists. And I met Shorty. I don't know if you know Shorty. And then once I met Shorty, we kind of connected and we kind of worked together a lot. And still at that time I was still new. I'd only been DJing like maybe 3 years, and Shorty had like 10 years on me at that point, maybe even longer. And through that, then I got some sponsors and I started working with like different companies. There was a company at the time called Stanton, and they made Final Scratch, which was out actually before Serato. So then through that, I got through playing digital. And this is like 2003. Like people are looking at me like I'm fucking nuts back then. Like, I'm like, no, you bring a laptop and you can play MP3s. And they're like, you're nuts. Like you're crazy. And then it wasn't the most reliable software either. It would crash all the time. And so they would call it Final Crash. And yeah, through that, then I just started meeting people in the industry. And then I just, just practice. Because now I've got this, Shorty. And Shorty at that time, like I said, she had probably been DJing for like 10 or more years. And she was the dopest DJ I'd ever seen, female DJ especially. And I just practiced to kind of get to like, her level. And then we toured together for a while. And then I toured with a bunch of artists. And then it was just, just doing me, just rocking clubs. And at that time, I finally got out of like the rave scene and like realized like that was a phase. And got back to like my roots and started playing hip hop and started going back to like what I did or what I liked, you know what I mean? And yeah, just like I said, just made sure practice was like number one. And before you know it, I'm like on tour with DJ Quick. And then I was like on tour with this British rapper, Lady Sovereign. And then it was like I was on the Jimmy Kimmel show. And it was just like all happening so fast. It's like, oh my God, what's going on? What's going on? Like, this is crazy. It's crazy. And then it was like through that, then I was able to go all overseas. And I had a residency in Shanghai. So I was going back and forth to Shanghai like once a year for like 5 weeks at a time, rocking clubs out there. And then I'd come back here. And then I was living in Chicago at the time. So I was playing all the big clubs out there. And then it was like, did the Shanghai thing for a while. Then I was on tour with the British rapper even longer. And then I lived in Toronto for a bit. And then from Toronto, I moved to LA. And now 24 years later, still DJing.
Wow. 24 years later, still DJing.
Still DJing.
You definitely have a story for real. Like, so when you said that you toured with artists, like, how did they just find you? They reached out to you? How did that happen?
So the DJ Quick one was actually back in the days of MySpace. This is how long ago we're going. There was this guy from my hometown, and it's crazy. He's a producer, and apparently Missy Elliott and Timberland recorded like a bunch of their stuff, like in Rochester, New York, which is crazy because it's such a small spot. But they recorded at this studio there, and this guy worked there, so he met everyone in the industry through Missy and Tim. And he ended up finding me on MySpace, and he's like, who are you? You're from Rochester and you scratch, and like, who are you? And I don't know you, and blah, blah, blah. And then he was just like, I'm going to hook you up with gigs. I'm going to hook you up with gigs. And I thought this guy was just bullshitting me because I would hear that shit all the time. And I was just like, all right. And then sure enough, he's like, give me your phone number. And back then you didn't think twice. You're just like, take my number. I was giving my number, and he was just like, all right, so I got you a gig, and there's this guy, DJ Quick, and he needs a DJ. And I was like, who the fuck's DJ Quick? I'm from the East Coast. I don't know who Quick is. You know what I mean? And so for those of you who don't know, Quick is like this huge legend out here. Like he was one of the original members of NWA. And then it didn't work out with him. And then he's just this legend out here in LA. And so this is like 06 though. This is still like forever ago. And he was just like, I got this gig for you. You're going to DJ for this guy, DJ Quick. And 2 days later, I was on an airplane. I was out here, and They threw me right on tour, not knowing any of this guy's music, anything.
How did you handle that?
It was, if I wasn't young, like if it was me now, I would have walked up to her. But then I was like so young and so hungry that I was just like, I'm gonna make it work. And like back then, it was just like they just threw the sampler at me too, and they were like, play the songs. And I was like, what songs? Like there was no set list, there was no. I was just like looking at the sampler every night. That looks like a good song. That looks like a good song. Like I wasn't familiar with this guy's catalog at all. I knew nothing about him. So it was very, very, very stressful. And like I said, if I wasn't as young as I was, I would never have been able to handle that now.
Wow. That's
Uh,
crazy.
and then through that, when the tour ended, the last day of our tour, or the next day, we were supposed to be on Jimmy Kimmel with Quick, and we were performing with Travis Barker and uh Be Real from Cypress Hill. And then something had happened where Quick ended up in jail. And so it was just me standing there with like Cypress Hill and Travis Barker. And Pioneer had sent me all this gear because a friend of mine had worked at Pioneer. Like through NAMM show, I met like a bunch of people, and they sent me all this gear to use on the show. So they were like, "Oh, we'll still use you." Excuse me, even though Chris or Quick wasn't there. So I got to perform still on the Jimmy Kimmel show. And we
Did you
performed.
post something about that recently? Did you?
It's on my store. I might have.
Okay.
I don't even know. But there's a video on there, and I was just like baby face. I was like early 20s. Like, and it's crazy because you grow up listening to some of these songs, and then you're just like, next thing you know, I'm on stage, but not any stage. I'm on Jimmy Kimmel with them. Like a lot of right place, right time kind of things.
Yeah. Wow. It's really like I always feel like it's really about who you know too. Like you have to be great.
Mhm.
You have to be great at what you do, but it's really about all you know. Sometimes, I mean, who you know, but shit, sometimes you don't even have to be great. It's about who you know.
Yeah, I see that a lot out here. It's
Yeah.
like, it was funny because I just had so I teach lessons as well. And I just had a brand new student today, and she was like telling me, she's like, and she knew enough. Like she's still fairly new, but she was like, I was out the other night and this DJ, he was just starting and stopping songs. Like she knew enough to know that and this was our first lesson today. And I'm just like, well, LA is very much like, it's all about who you know out here. Like you can be, super whack. And just because, the hotel manager, they'll book you. And they would rather book someone they know than over someone they don't know, because everybody just talks here. So it's like, yeah, it's wild out here. You'll see some crazy stuff.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
does anyone have any questions?
No, I was just gonna piggyback off of what she was just saying. Like it's definitely a different culture. I try to tell Q all the time, like it's weird, especially as a newer DJ and you're in a city and you're like, okay, I'm trying to see how good I'm doing because I lived in Atlanta for 15 years. I'm used to people dancing on couches. But LA,
I love
Vegas,
Atlanta.
everybody's like name dropping and doing all of that. And I'm like,
They're
I
too
don't
cool to
know.
dance. They're too cool to
Yeah,
dance.
it's the
Yeah.
craziest thing. So yeah, different vibe.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I feel you on that for sure.
It's
So
kind of funny because Connecticut almost feels like a mini LA sometimes. People don't dance the way that they used to.
I
It is
noticed
a
that
lot.
after the pandemic too, though. Like it's just like people just want to vibe. People like it's weird. It's just weird now. It's not like that turn up crazy crowd. It's also bottle service kind of did that to people, I feel like, and people are just want to be like flashy with their bottles or whatever.
So
It
how
was
did you adjust to the
Instagram
change from
or
like
social
post
media.
pandemic to like prior?
It was tough. It was tough because like I said, I came straight from bottle service. Like I was in Toronto for 7 years. After all my crazy touring, I was burnt out for a bit. I lived in Toronto and all I did was play bottle service clubs. And I was playing like 3 different bottle service clubs, and it was a lot. I was doing like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then I was doing brunches sometime. Again, where you're just coming out and it's like you maybe get like an hour of warm up, and then it's like, you know, the East Coast, like you got to come out swinging, you got to come out with the hits, you got to come out banging, and like, so I was so accustomed to that. And then when I moved to LA, because it's such a like more vibey thing, it was like I'm like DJing like hotel lounges, making way more money than I was making at my bottle service clubs to play for fucking nobody. It was like, all right, so you're gonna pay me to DJ where people don't even care that I'm DJing and they're looking at me. They're not even looking at me. They don't give a shit that I'm here. So it was a big adjustment because I came from so much like the high you get from people dancing, you know what I mean? Like that's our give back to DJs, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, the people requesting, that's annoying, but the energy you get from people is like, that's our reward at the end of the night. That's your tip, you know?
Mm. Yes, yes. I totally get that. So you right now you're doing you said a brunch on Sundays. You're still doing a brunch on Sundays, right?
Right now I'm just doing, it's still pool season here, so I'm doing more pools.
Okay.
Uh, so no, I'm not doing a brunch anymore.
All
But
right.
I will eventually be, probably in a month or two. But even then, they don't turn up like they used to at brunch. They're not standing on the couches like, or the tables like they used to. I miss that shit though. I do.
You need to Nicola, you could talk. Hold on. I think Nicola has something.
No, she said something about it being a paid practice. And yes, 100%.
Oh, she said it's loud here. Okay.
Yes, and I agree with that. And it's not me complaining at all. It's just a different like transition when you come from like club night.
Yeah.
And then it's like I meet a lot of people out here too, though, or I meet people everywhere that are just like they got into DJing on the other side, the radio side, where they're used to DJing like those small events. And so to them, like a club is like a nightmare. They're like, nope, I don't want to ever DJ a club. Like I love playing my, corporate events where I'm just background noise and this and that. But it's just for me, because I came from club and then touring with artists and all that, because I came from, like I said, like the crazier side of things, but
So you're
it's
missing that.
balanced.
You're missing that energy then, huh? You're missing it.
Yeah.
A little bit?
Yeah, totally. And then this past year, I DJ'd a cruise,
Oh,
which
yes.
was
Tell us
pure
about that.
chaos.
Tell us about that.
I DJ'd for Virgin Cruise Lines, which is
So
like,
first, before you get into it, tell us how you got that event, because I know that there is going to be some DJs that watch this and want to know how you got the to DJ on a cruise.
through a friend. It's all these kind of gigs are all like, it's all and so a friend of mine was like, hey, like, and I've known, he used to work for my MP3 pool. He doesn't anymore. And we had done an interview and I'd done a scratch session with him. And then he was like, hey, would you ever be interested in doing a cruise? And my wife's family like grew up doing cruises, like just going to cruises. So I was like, well, sure. And I've done a couple other private cruises. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And the money was like really good. So yeah, I was like,
I have a
yeah, I'll do
question
it. Sure.
about cruise. So, like, as a DJ on a, did you like do the club at the cruise? Like, did they have to? Were you given a set playlist? Because I've been on 2 cruises, but the first cruise the DJ was like on point. The second cruise, it felt like they were using a playlist, and it was like they had limited. They like almost like they had limitations. Do they give you a limitation, or is that just?
Yeah, I think that
based on-
depends what cruise line you're on. Each cruise line is different. So I've
Okay.
only ever done Virgin, and like
I wanna go
Virgin
on there so
is,
bad.
yeah, Virgin it's adults only. So it's like you can turn up. I can play like, I can have a twerking contest pretty much. You know what I mean? Like you can't do that on like Royal Caribbean or any of those other ones. Like the craziest you'll get is like back that ass up or the wobble. You know what I mean? Like they can't turn up the way we can turn up on Virgin. So like I said, it all depends on what cruise line you're on. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
So
Virgin's the craziest.
so it was great. So how was that experience?
Oh my God. it was like Vegas on a boat is the best way I can describe it. Like people were just ready to just turn up and party. And like, cause there's no kids on there, it's like they're really ready to party. It's a lot of singles, a lot of also just people, bachelorette parties, like all that. So it was fun. It was dope. I got to get that energy. And back to your question, I just remembered how often I DJ. So for Virgin, it wasn't too bad. They only work you 5 hours a day, which really isn't that bad. Other cruise lines I've heard of from my friends. Like I said, I've never done those. I've done private cruises. But the other cruise lines I heard, like Royal, I heard you work like 8 to 10 hours a day, where they'll have you like 6 hours at the pool, and then you're like, 4 hours at the club that night. Whereas like Virgin, it was like they keep 2 DJs on board, which other cruise lines don't do that either. So Virgin, they keep 2 DJs on board, and it's like you'll do like a 2-hour pool set, and then you'll do like 3 hours at night. Or they'll break it up, and you'll be like, in the lounge for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and then an hour at a restaurant, and then an hour at, another lounge kind of area or another restaurant. So they break it up so that you're only working 5 hours a day, which also was the only reason why I took this one, because like I said, I'm not playing the 8 to 10 hour shifts.
Yeah, that doesn't seem bad at all. 5 hours, and it's broken up like that. And so how long were you on the cruise?
28 days. That was the hard part. That was the hard part, was because like also I'm not doing like late nights anymore. So right now in LA, so to be on the cruise and it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm DJing, like 10:30 to 2 a.m. And sometimes if people are still there, you got to stay a little longer. So it's like I some nights I'm there like till 4 o'clock in the morning. Which then I got to be at the pool the next day at 11 a.m. or sorry, 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. Sorry. So it's just, it ends up like adding up where you're tired, that's where I'm getting at. You're still tired.
After the 28 days, you were ready to come home, basically.
I was ready after 2 weeks. Like I was tired.
Oh,
yeah.
Man. Do y'all have any other questions for Annalyze? Where'd you get your name from?
So I don't know if you guys, all right. So back when I first started DJing and I was playing vinyl, I had the name Aria, and then I found out another DJ, I found out on like a flyer, they had the name already. So I was DJing a house party or pool party. And we kind of like, we stopped playing music and we were all just like hanging out, chilling. And somebody was like, I was like telling them I need to change my DJ name. And they were like, you should be DJ Analog. Cause the name Anna, my name's Anna. They were like Analog. And I almost chose Analog. And I'm so glad I didn't, because Analog is like old school. Like we play digital now. So, he said, this kid literally was like, you should be DJ Analog, Anna Analog. And I was like, you know what? I was like, what about Annalyze? And he was like, I'm storing you on my phone back in then, like T9. He was like, I'm storing you on my phone as Annalyze. And then that was literally it. He's like that quick.
Wow. It's a dope name though.
Thank you.
Do y'all have, hey, Nick, it's still loud where you are, Nick? Yeah.
I'm curious how you got connected with Lady Sovereign, because honestly, I only heard of her for like a very short amount of time over here when I was actually going to school in New York. And then like I felt like she almost fell off. So I'm curious how you got connected with her.
Yeah, she did fall off. But so that was kind of crazy for me, because I was at Miami, they still do it. It's called Miami Music Week now, but it used to be called Winter Music Conference. And I was in Miami that year at the conference, and we walked into this party and we just saw this British rapper, and I was like, oh my God, she's so dope. I was like, I want to be her DJ. And then turns out a friend of mine knew her. And I was like, how does she know her? And she's just like, she's like, I don't know, but she's throwing a party with her in New York City. So I had just finished the DJ Quick tour, just finished like that day. And the Jimmy Kimmel show with Quick. And I got on my flight. I flew back to my hometown, Rochester, and flew to New York City within 6 hours to get to New York City to catch Lady Sovereign's show because the friend of the friend was throwing an after party with her. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go to New York. I'm going to meet this girl. I'm going to be her DJ. It's just going to happen. So my friend in New York, I was like, hey, I'm coming. I'm going to come check out this show. Will you take me to the after party that your friend's throwing? And she was like, totally, let's go. So we go to the after party. I had a couple drinks, a little liquid courage. And at the time she was on Def Jam, and she had just got signed to Def Jam. This is huge. I just got off the DJ Quick tour. So I was like just hype, you know what I mean? And Justin, Jimmy Kimmel. While she was performing at this after party in New York City, I literally just jumped on stage. I'm not even kidding you. Pushed her DJ out of the way and then just started scratching. I'm not even kidding you. I can't even make this up. Started scratching. And her DJ was so cool. Like me, I would have lost my shit. I'd be like, don't touch my stuff. Who the fuck are you? But I started scratching because he was scratching, and I crushed him, you know, and I like fucking flexed on him. And then we just kind of went back and forth in session, and he wasn't even like, who's this bitch or who is she? He just he was so chill, and he just went back and forth with me. And then I walked off the stage, and literally Def Jam just grabbed my arm, the guy from Def Jam, and was like, we need you as her tour DJ. That's literally how that happened.
I knew that there was like, I just felt that there was like a sick story behind, because she's not like your average girl, and she's good. She's good. I fell in love with a song that I had to do choreography for her. Okay. Or not for her, but you know, from her. Yeah. And I was just like, where do I even find this girl in 2023? I didn't Google, I guess.
She pretty much fell off though. So we toured from like 2006 to like 2010, and then she was just burnt out. She got too much hype at such a young age. Like she was in Verizon commercials. She's from the UK. She was like 18 doing all this crazy stuff, and it was like some Britney Spears shit. She like just lost her shit and then just never really recovered. Like our last bit of touring too, she didn't even want to perform. It was like basically I would just DJ before she went on. She'd come do 2-3 songs, and then she'd just stop playing, and she'd be like, I'm just going to go sit in the green room, and people would be like throwing lit cigarettes and bottles at me because they're pissed at me. But I'm like, I'm just the DJ. Like, so it ended up getting a little messy towards the end, but it was fun in the beginning.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Sure,
Really?
of course.
How did you negotiate like your price for being a tour DJ? How did that work out?
You don't negotiate those. They give you the price, and you just you either say yes or no. For like with those people, they come with a straight budget, and they're just like, this is the budget. There's no negotiating. With any tour I've ever done, it's just like, so the way it works too is they give you like, okay, so this is what you get paid on show days, and these are your day off payments. And then you get this much for a per diem. So that's just how it works. So the crazy part of that tour was I was living in Chicago at the time, the last tour I did with her, and it was cheaper for them to fly me back to Chicago rather than me stay in, because we were touring and mostly in Europe. So instead of keeping me in Europe, because they'd have to pay my day off fee, they would fly me back to Chicago. So I'd do 3 days in Europe, fly back to Chicago, and then fly back 3 days later. So my body was like a mess. Like I was so burnt out after that, because then, you know, you're doing these 9-hour flights, you know, back and forth. And yeah, but I mean, it was worth all of it, but it was a lot towards the end.
Yeah. Well, because you did that for what, 6 years or 4 years?
Off and on. She had the other DJ that I cut off that time. He was her best
DJ?
friend.
Do you remember who it was?
Yeah, his name is what's it? Franz. I can't think of what his name is right now. What is it?
It's okay.
It's something like, he's some UK dude. You would never know him. He's like some like, you know, just whatever DJ from the UK who she grew up with. He was like some grime DJ.
Mhm.
you know, because back then grime was like huge and she had like that grime sound. So, what was the name? Anyways, so he got the Gwen Stefani tour, which sucks. I didn't get that one. But then after that, they were just done with him and they brought me on full
Yeah.
time.
Wow.
Framps, that was his name, DJ Framps.
Frams? Mm.
Yeah, like Framp.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. You have
Yeah,
any
that was
other-
just some liquid courage that night where I just jumped up there and was like, let me try this.
That's
I would
like
never do that now.
that's
I would
the-
never do that.
I swear, when we were younger, we did a lot of shit that we
I
wouldn't
didn't
do
give a
now.
shit
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
We just do a lot of stuff that we really wouldn't do now.
No,
Mm.
no
were-
way.
Everyone was fearless back when they were young, right?
Fearless.
Care, we didn't know.
I would meet random people on MySpace for gigs, and then they would pick me up from the airport and take me to the gig. And thank God they were all legit.
I know.
Back, you didn't even think. I wouldn't even get their. I wouldn't, you know, texting back then. None of that. I was just like, oh, okay, pick me up at the airport. Okay, go to the
That's-
gig.
That's crazy. That's crazy. You can't do that stuff now.
Fuck no.
Do y'all have any other questions? Throw them out there. Nicola, I felt like you were going to ask a question earlier. Hey, Honest D.
I know I didn't. I was going to make a comment, but I don't even remember what it was because I'm old and I forget stuff. And I did all this wild stuff when I was young. So now my memory. So no, I don't.
Cheers, by the way. Cheers.
Yeah.
I thought you were drinking. Cheers. What you sipping
Hey,
on?
Nicola.
Hi. That's just a little crown apple on the rock.
Mm.
Stuff like
Yes.
Yum, yum, yum.
So y'all good before she starts doing a session for us, showing us what she does? Or you might have questions after, you know? All right, Analyze.
All right, so I'm gonna plug in my iRig and just give me the thumbs up because
But
I
let's-
won't be able to hear you.
But wait, before you do that, can you try? Oh, do you have a
I have a mic, but I won't be able to hear you.
right? But do you have a speaker hooked up right now that hooked up to your
Yeah.
equipment? So just play not just regular and see if we can hear
Are you
it.
sure?
Yeah, let's just
All right.
see.
I mean, I can plug in the iRig too, but all right. You just want just a little scratching?
Do your thing. Yeah. Have fun.
All right, give us a second to update. Turn on.
I guess first we could see if like how it sounds and how y'all feeling about that? You want to try it with the iRig? It's kind of dull. It sounds kind of dull.
Yeah, I
All right.
read.
Okay, let's
All
try
right,
it with
let's
the iRig.
iRig it. Okay. All right, give me 1 second.
Okay.
And then just give me the thumbs up.
Okay. So how y'all doing?
Good.
So sidebar, Kiana, I bought an iRig like when we were talking about
Wait, hold
Twitch.
up, hold up,
Like
hold up, Nicola. Hold up.
Uh,
Because I can't
oh,
hear
wait,
her.
she can't see it.
Can you guys hear that?
No. Is it me or is it worse? It's definitely worse.
It's worse.
But you can hear us though.
It was slightly better without it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't know how to use my iRig is all I was getting to.
We're gonna work on that.
It's still in the box.
I still haven't bought an iRig. I use a sound card for streaming.
I've had it for like a year and a half. It's in the box.
I need to get one. I want to start doing TikTok.
Everybody put your
sorry.
thumbs down.
You might need to adjust your audio settings on actual Zoom.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She can't hear us though. So
Mm-mm.
maybe put that in the chat.
Thank you, Michelle.
I was typing too slow, Michelle.
Yay or nay?
Oh, I don't hear anything now.
Everybody put your thumbs down so she can see somebody. Poor thing. She could just do it without.
All right.
I'm gonna see if she takes her headphones out and try.
Let me
Just
try that. Oh, I think I know what it is. Let me try this. How's this?
Wait.
Any better? Good. All right, let's try one more time. I don't know why the iRig is not working.
And I bet
You know what? Let me change the settings to microphone for iRig. Give me one.
Okay. So I don't think everyone on here has met each other. Nicola, DJ Honest D, Michelle. Is Michelle still on here? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think y'all everybody knows Moni, right? No, Michelle doesn't know Moni. Okay.
I'm new.
So everybody just introduce yourselves while y'all up in here. Just say your name and where you're from. And how long
I'll
you've
go
been
first. I would say I'll go first because I'm safely assuming is my government name is on the Zoom and not my DJ. Because I just jumped on the call. But I am Nicola. Pretty Nikki is what they call me. That's my DJ name. I live in Metro Atlanta and I have been DJing since 1990.
Yes.
Wow.
next up. That's my girl.
I'm Danielle, DJ Honest D with a D, because my name is Danielle. I'm from Irvington, New Jersey, and I've been DJing for 3 years.
Yes, yes.
Who's next?
Hi, I'm Sophia, aka DJ Sophie Sage, from New Rochelle, New York, and I've been DJing 2.5 years, I guess now. Almost 2.5.
I guess
I'm
I'll
DJ.
go next.
Psych.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead, Michelle. Okay, I'll go next. I am Simone Moni, aka DJ Moni. I'm from everywhere. I'm currently in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I've been DJing since the beginning of the pandemic. So, God, how long ago was that?
3 years now, right?
3
Maybe
years
almost
now.
4.
Yeah. So, yeah, nice to meet everybody.
I am DJ Michelle B. Hi, everybody. I live in Connecticut and I started DJing in 2019. So also right at the beginning, well, before we knew that the pandemic was coming is when I started. So it was funny because Annalyze said she started DJing in like clubs and she misses that rush. But I started DJing in the club and I was like, I don't want to do this too much more. I don't know. So as we're emerging out of this pandemic, I keep my club minimal. Yes, that's me. Hello.
And I also want to mention that DJ Michelle B, she does karaoke as well. And I know that Nicola, you had questions about karaoke. So I need y'all two to connect.
I need to connect. ASAP.
Connect, okay.
I'll actually put my Instagram in the chat if y'all can too, and I can follow y'all on my phone on the side.
Yep.
But
How do you
I
put it?
definitely want to
idea.
connect within the app too.
Yeah, definitely connect inside the membership. And y'all don't be. What happened to Annalyze? Did she? Let me see. Yeah, she must have. She got to come back in. But make sure y'all don't be nervous about asking questions and, you know, connecting and networking with each other. That's why we're all here. So we're all in different places for the most part. So I swear I'm coming to visit all of y'all for real. I swear I am. Make sure y'all have a place for me. I'm just joking.
You know the guest room is ready. We waiting on you out here. I bumped in the Stormy yesterday. We could do a little dope little set, the three of us. I'm just saying.
You already know. You already know. Love me some Stormy.
Y'all not that far. Y'all might as well hop on in the car and keep on going to Charlotte.
Listen, you gonna have to come down here. We deep down here.
Look, we're gonna stop. We all gonna go all the way down. We're gonna come down. We're gonna come down. We're gonna start from Connecticut. We're gonna stop in New Jersey.
Yeah, the Female DJ Association tour. That sounds great.
And then we're gonna hit LA and Annalyze and go crash at her place.
Yo, come through. Yeah, I don't know. I can't seem to get this sound to work. I'll try one more time because I closed out the meeting and started again.
But too, like, just do it without the.
All right. Can you hear it now?
No.
Where's your speaker at?
Right next to you.
Really?
Oh.
What have on Zoom?
Like right there.
On Zoom, do you have your audio settings selected to
Do I have what?
your audio settings?
No, that's what I keep looking for. So I used to have all the settings on my old phone, and then I switch. I haven't done Zoom in forever.
If you click the little arrow by the microphone, there's where it says audio profile, like there's an option for like Zoom background noise removal. You gotta check that so that it suppresses your sound around you.
Where in there is it? I see meetings, general accessibility.
No, down by your microphone, like where it says mute.
All right, hold on one second. Yep.
And there's a little arrow that points up.
I don't see that at all.
Because she's
only if you're on your computer, right?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I'm on my phone.
Who's on their phone right now?
Let me check.
It might be in the more, the ... more. Do you see that on your phone?
No audio settings on the phone.
I looked on the more, but it's like background and effects or
no, there's no more. I mean, there's no audio settings on your phone. They just said sorry.
No.
Please ignore.
Hold on. I see another settings here. Let me mess with this for a second.
Because even before
I have it all on my old phone too. I have all the settings because I worked with I used to do like some live. That's
the only other thing, like at the top of your phone, isn't there something where it's not noise cancellation, but it's like do y'all see what I'm talking about at the top of your phone?
It's just there's a speaker. It's just for mute. I don't think there's anything
at the top, all the way at the top.
Let me go to Zoom. Oh, you have to go back all the way to like the screen that just says Zoom, and then you can do so in your meeting settings,
Yep.
You can
I'm,
adjust the
I'm in
audio.
there right now in meetings, but I'm looking to use original audio. Is that what I should?
Maybe.
Try that.
All right, let's try that. Let's see how that goes. Can you guys hear me still?
Yep.
Yep.
Well, could it be done? Is that all right?
Wait, you're not
I don't know.
you're not
I
putting
don't
in the
know.
iRig,
I
right?
mean,
You didn't put in the iRig, did you?
what's that?
You didn't use the iRig just now, did you?
I did.
No, don't use the iRig. Just play it and let me see how it's. It
I
didn't.
did. I did both.
Oh,
I did that first, and then I plugged in the iRig. I don't know. Well, we can do this again where I can like scratch another time if you guys are okay with that, and I'll figure out. Like I said, my old phone has the settings. I'll have to find that and see if it even turns on. But
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that.
there has to be, because Shorty teaches over Zoom, so I can ask her too how she does it.
But you know what she does? She has like the camera, so she uses her laptop, and she has a camera, another camera too from her laptop. So she does it from her laptop, you know.
All right.
But
I can try to sign in from my laptop, see if that works.
okay, try that.
I would try that.
All right, I'll be back.
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
So ladies, what's going on? Tell me something good. What's all the great stuff going on for y'all?
I'll go. I just booked 2 more 2024 gigs, and the one weekend I had open in October is no longer open. I just put something else. So work.
Hey.
Right. Hey.
I'm so proud of you. Big things are going.
You. You know me there.
Who else? I want to hear. Come on, y'all. Give me some good news. It doesn't even have to be about DJing events, but just give us some good news. What you eating, Honest D? That looks good.
It does look good.
No, I just got back from my swimming lesson. I'm eating some.
You're the busiest person that I know.
Listen. I had a meeting right before this. That's why I was late. So that's why I'm eating y'all face. I'm eating boneless, skinless, big chicken thighs with some string beans.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not exciting, right? That's why I didn't volunteer.
That is exciting. It sounds very healthy.
Right.
Okay, we won't bother you because I do have other questions for you. You just did something this past weekend. I definitely shared it. So I saw something, and it looked like it was fun.
Oh, I did this. It's this little rickety lounge. When I need to make some quick money, I agreed to go. But I be having to bring my own crowd, so it's always a good time because I bring my friends with me.
Right.
And then when I get off, they leave. So
Yeah, not having any luck from the computer. Sorry.
You're not.
No, I keep trying to log in. It's not letting me. I turned off my pop-off blocker too, and it's not letting me even just get on Zoom.
It's all right. We'll figure it out for next time. And make it happen. And there's some other things that we got to talk about, but we'll talk about it offline and figure it out. But like, do y'all have any other questions for Annalyze? Like, Annalyze has been like all over the world DJing for so many different people and events, and like she is like top of the line with her scratching is ridiculous. If y'all make sure y'all follow her, and check out her videos and everything. And she's pretty dope. She's a big deal.
Yeah.
She might be, shy about it. I don't know. being humble. I don't know, but she's a big deal. Like she helped. What didn't you help? Like, was it Rain? With
No,
their
Pioneer.
Pioneer.
So those new turntables just came out, Pioneer. I helped design those, and then I did the Rev 7 and the Rev 1 as well.
Thanks.
Yeah.
He's a big deal. Big thing.
I've done some pretty cool things.
Huh?
What's that?
I said, it's the humbleness for me. I just, don't just design the boards that you guys are purchasing for thousands of dollars. Yeah, okay, that's all I did. Nothing much.
I mean, what? Like, when I fucking, no. You gotta be chill about it. You gotta be cool about it,
Here, it's not cool to do in public, but here with us, yes, please. We want to hear about all that.
I mean, it was a fucking great opportunity. And it was one of those things again that like happened, I just working with all these different companies from when I told you in the beginning when I worked with, it all started, I worked with Behringer and then I worked with Stanton and then I worked with Pioneer and then I worked with, Serato and then I worked with Rain back in the day. And then it's just like every year at the NAMM, you just kind of meet, which it's great. If you guys have never been to NAMM, it's great for networking if you're on like the, gear side of things. And I happened to be at that time. And then it was like years later, this guy that worked for a company called Scratchworks now works for Pioneer. And he was like, oh, Annalyze, you're still, I didn't know you were in LA. And this was again during the pandemic. And he's like, oh, so I worked on that S11 as well, this mixer here. Nice. And he was just like, do you want to, do some stuff with Pioneer? You want to beta test some stuff? And so then they basically like throw the gear at you and then be like, tell us what sucks on it. Tell us what's great on it and da, 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 da. And then that's kind of what you do.
Nice. How do you recommend like getting into like, I guess, because you went on tour with artists, like, how do you recommend like getting into that part of DJing, touring, I guess?
It just depends. Like it's all about like who you know in that, and that scene is really much about who you know. So it's like, like for me, I had the friend of mine that was a producer and happened to just be in the studio with DJ Quick and overheard Quick needing that he needed a DJ. So he was like, hey, I got this dope chick from New York. I'm going to send her to you. So I feel like that, and any other time I've heard of artists needing a DJ, it's always been through like a friend. It's always been like, hey, so-and-so needs a DJ. Do you know anyone? And then it's like, well, I can do it. Or, so-and-so can do it. So I think the touring part is a little bit harder unless you work with an artist from the ground up,
Okay, yeah.
That's a definitely like it's harder. And then but then it's like what's her name? Oh, I can't think of what her name is. She was married to Talib Kweli. Fuck, what was her name? But she's a DJ and she DJ'd for everyone from Two Live Crew to Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, like you fucking name it. And for her, she was like, you DJ for one artist and then the next artist hears you and then this artist hears you and then this artist hears you and then there. You know what I mean? Like that's how she was. EQ was her name. EQ. Okay. And so it's a lot of who you know, or, just you're hanging out at a concert backstage and then you meet, their tour manager and they're like, yeah, we're actually looking for a new DJ. And you're like, well, I'm a DJ, a lot of shaking hands, a lot of just like, networking kind of stuff.
So y'all get to networking. Get to talk.
It's a whole other job. It's a whole other side project of DJing,
It is. But you have to like let everyone know what you do. Let them know what you do.
Yeah.
Almost every interaction that you have with people, let them know what you do. You never know what door that might open. You never know.
Yeah.
True.
So what's some advice, one piece of advice that you would give DJs starting out?
Don't take everything personal. Like Like literally, like people are just in moods. There's, you know, especially like club owners or, you know, like if somebody comes barking at you about this, that, and the third, like just don't take it personal. That's just their job. They're just telling you to fucking switch it up or just do this and just do that. And just try to practice as much as you can. That was what got me where I'm at, you know? It was just, like I said, I set that regimen when I started 3 hours a day. I would practice 3 hours a day up until I was at like 2 years of DJ. And when I got my first residency, yeah, I was like, and then I was, you know, DJing more. And then it was like 2 hours and one. And now it's not as much as it should be, but I still try to practice at least 10 to 20 minutes a day. Try to.
What, when you started really getting into scratching, what is like the first scratch that you felt like you needed to perfect?
So I didn't really know at the time what a lot of the scratches were. So the friends of mine that I had like DJ'd with, the younger kids, they taught me how to chirp scratch. And once I learned the chirp scratch, I feel like that's all you really even need to know. If you're just looking for like a little bit of icing on the cake, the chirp scratch is like, it's literally like, it's the chicka chicka Slim Shady. It's the chicka chicka that you hear in every song. When you hear, even just when somebody's like cutting in on a, you know, and they're about to bring in the next record and they're like, that's the chirp scratch. And that's the scratch that they taught me. And that to this day is still my like absolute favorite scratch. And still something I like, I'm so passionate about. I love the chirp scratch.
You say you're passionate about the chirp scratch. That's
completely
how important it is, y'all.
Because it's just like, it sounds like you're doing more than what you're doing. So it's like, it's one of those scratches where it's like, to me, it was like when I first heard it, I was like, that's that sound that I've been hearing, you know, like for years, but I didn't know what the name of it was, you know, or what it was, you know. I'm like, that's that sound. If that makes any sense. Sorry, guys.
It does. It does make sense.
It's also like one of the most like confusing scratches because your hands are going in like opposite directions when you do the chirp. So it's like, it's confusing at first, but once you learn it, you're like, oh, oh.
I could do anything once you learn it.
You can make it sound so difficult when it's like the simplest scratch. It's like, it's chirp scratch all day.
Okay. Michelle.
I was going to say, my brother made me learn that with Just the Two of Us by Chub Rock. Hours and hours and hours of catching that. He'd be like, don't do it again. Do it again. No, I'll be back. I need you to do it for 45 minutes straight and I'll be back. I'm like, okay. Now, please, I barely scratch now because that was on techniques and I have not yet gotten comfortable scratching on a controller.
What controller are you on?
I have a couple.
Which one do you use the
I
most?
feel like I have baby controllers.
Which one do you use the most?
I use this one the most, the DDJ SR2.
Okay, yeah. I used to have an SR2.
Yeah,
I fucking love that thing. Love that baby.
It's right here. I'm like, it's right here. You okay, boo boo? It's right here.
Yeah. I love mine.
Is it plugged up right now?
No, my mixer is upstairs. I'm in the basement.
I actually sold my SR2 to, do you know who Honeybee is? She's like super famous on TikTok.
No.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I'm
I ended up selling my
with
SR2 to her.
Honeybee.
Yeah, I sold my SR2 to her. She's out here. Yeah.
She does a lot of mashups and stuff.
Yeah.
She's really good. Check her out on Insta.
Yeah. Yeah, she took a couple of lessons and stuff. She's great though.
All right. Y'all have any other questions? We're gonna have to have another date with DJ Annalyze so she can show us her skills. We'll figure it out, Annalyze.
Yeah, I'll talk to my audio friends, like I said, that do these things. So yeah.
You have any other questions for her? Y'all good? I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you for taking the time to talk to us. Like I said, you are super duper dope. And I can't wait to meet you in person.
I can't wait. You guys are all so lovely, and just keep fucking practicing and keep doing what you're doing because you all sound great already.
Y'all hear that?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay on it. Stay on it and just
Thank you so much.
All right. Do y'all have any questions about anything else? Are y'all good? Remember, don't be shy with asking questions inside the membership. Like, I'm in the process of creating that shared drive for music. So kind of think about like how, I think I put something in the membership, like what's the genre of music that you spend the most? Like how would you like things listed in there? Like hits, I think I asked Michelle B this, like you want like 90s hits or something, 90s R&B hits, 90s hip hop beats, hits, 80s, whatever, 2000s hits, whatever. Like how do you want it to be categorized? And we'll all be able to put music in there. Like I want to make sure it's like new edits and stuff in there, and things that you may not have. Michelle B is gonna put some Afro beats in there. She loves her Afro beats and plays a lot. I know we got the house heads up in here. Throw some house music up in there, and you know, and everything. Yes, definitely the soca. So the
hey, okay.
You know, so that's you'll be receiving an email with the link and everything. So
can I get that email too, please? Because
yeah, I need festival, like some EDM, like yeah. So that's what I'm in need of right now.
All right.
And I think a great list for us corporate people would probably be definitely a corporate list.
A corporate what?
Corporate list. Safe for work.
All right. Can make that happen. Like some, I mean, because that you know that's like the corporate events, the music is all over the place because there's so many different types of people, but the fun upbeat music basically. All right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like similar. It's like similar to wedding vibes. Yeah, disco.
Right.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, it's all your big band.
It's probably gonna be like pop hit, top 40s.
Yeah.
But and yeah, throwing a little bit of things here and there.
You know, we say that, but right now with DJ Michelle B, like the Afro beats is really taking over the globe right now. So throwing in some of that would be really great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But even then,
even the soca,
it's going to be Burna Boy and Davido. It's not going to be like Tiwa Savage, right? It's not. You're not going to go deep.
Well, Tiwa Savage is getting a lot of play, so
yeah, I play it all, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, I play it all too.
If you throw Koraba on in the middle of a WizKid set, people are gonna go nuts and not know a word that's going on. Like there's some Afrobeat hits that like you don't even realize are hits because you heard it one time, maybe, you know what I mean, and it may not have like really stayed, but like some of those songs are starting to recycle back again in the club scene. Just because Afrobeats are so big and people want to know the music. Iris Star, like, I got y'all.
Yeah, what's crazy what you say. I was actually working a lounge in 2017 and Afrobeats was all we were playing for Sunday brunch. And so that was my introduction to Davido and, WizKid and all of that. So that's where I really appreciated and learned the appreciation for Afrobeat. So
I was DJing in Toronto, and it was big in Toronto in like 2014 when like the Ghana sound, the Azonto stuff was like Oliver Twist. Like we were playing that so long ago, but Toronto is so up on there, like all that, and with the soca and dancehall and like all that, like there's it's such a music city. So but yeah, we were rocking that shit a long time ago. So it's so wild to me to see where it's come now, and it's amazing too to see that these artists are getting so much love,
I told
Mhm.
someone the other day it's the new reggae.
Pretty much. I mean, all the reggae artists are making, if you listen to any of the new
Dance
dance
hall,
hall,
I
it's so
mean.
slow. It's like it's
Yeah, it's a lot
basically
more
Afrobeat.
Gunyan tunes than anything.
Yeah.
A lot of yeah, a lot of that going
Yeah.
on with the parties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the soca keeps it upbeat.
Yeah. Soca's hard to break into. I don't know. And there's like Afro soca,
Oh,
like
no.
there's like what they call R&B soca, like the more like the groovy. Some of them have like the Afro beat. Some songs aren't technically Afro beat, but they still go under the soca label just because of the artist. It's like, you know, sometimes they put like Black artists under R&B, but they're really pop kind of thing. They do that with the soca artists sometimes. And I'm like, no, that's Afro beat, low key. But it's hard to break soca in because a lot of the times people want to hear the same songs, the Palance and which I don't like Palance, but I play it because I have to.
The Michelle Montano stuff, like they want.
Oh, people love
You're-
Marshall's a legend. He's
Yeah, all day. All
You don't
day.
like Palance?
All
Okay, so
day.
I'm Trinidadian and Jamaican, so
Hey, okay.
for you,
Trini.
I'm low key offended that you don't like Palance because that's like national anthem,
I don't,
right?
you know
Like,
what, y'all don't hate me, but like I used to party in non-soca places before the pandemic. I actually made a lot of my Caribbean friends during the pandemic through Twitch. So like I'm in Rochelle in New York, and like it's more like you'll hear like Latino music before you'll hear soca. So a lot of the DJs play the same 5 soca songs. Palance, I was excited at first. And then I'm like, oh no, you guys are like playing the same 5 songs. And as a soca head, I'm like, I can't. I love the song. I just don't like to hear it when I'm out because I'm just like, it's usually the easy song just to kind of get people to listen to the soca. And then they play like Togetherness by Square One. They play like the same 5 songs and then they go straight out to some other genre. I know you have to do it
because baby, I could go the rest of my days and never hear Wobble again. In what? If I never hear that song again, if I never swag surf again,
swag surfing.
The wobble gives me a good 3 to 4 minutes.
Bathroom break.
That's my bathroom break. That's my bathroom break all day. I put it on. I run to the bathroom. I come back.
Slide too.
Yeah,
that's the electric
Beyonce, Crazy in Love. I let the whole thing play. Run to the bathroom. Those are all my bathroom break songs.
Listen,
True Dilemma's like that too, because that's a long song.
It is.
Oh yeah, you could let that. That's like 8 minutes long easily. It's
ain't
so
no stopping
long.
us now. Ain't no stopping us now. Like 12 minutes.
That's a great post. What's your favorite bathroom break song? That's a great post.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna post that one.
I've never taken a bathroom break at a gig ever.
What?
My first gig
I do
was 6
5-hour
hours.
gigs. Like I'm taking them
never.
I'm going.
Yeah, I'm scared it's gonna stop. The song's gonna stop, so I just
no. You loop it. Just loop it. So what I do is I'll loop like a part at the very end of the song just in case. Or I'll make like, I used to make like pre-mixed stuff. Like I would do like 3-4 songs in a row just in case that would happen.
Okay, that's smart.
And they have songs on certain record pools you can buy, and because it's dudes, it's normally called like piss break, but you can find like a piss break mix they make because for females too, the bathroom's always way longer. For us, for a dude, they just walk in, they go, that's it. But for us, it's like the chicks are doing selfies, they're doing their makeup, they're having a night, and I'm just like, I gotta go, Sometimes I'll barter with them. I'm like, yo, if you let me go next, I'll play your song next. I don't care what it is. I'll play it,
And I still won't play it.
I probably still won't. It depends. Yeah, it depends. If it's like something that's gonna fit in what I'm playing, I'll play it. But sometimes you gotta barter. When you gotta pee, you gotta barter.
About the bathroom.
Because for female DJs, like it's, especially if you do clubs, like it's crazy in there. And there's like 2 to 3 stalls if you're lucky, lying around there. I'm like, listen, I'm the DJ. Sometimes I'll grab security too, and I'll be like, yo, I need you to tell all these girls that like I have to pee.
That's a good one.
Yeah, security will do it. They'll usually help you out.
Security will lock down the boys' bathroom if you really need them to.
Yes, they will.
Anyway.
But using a dude's bathroom, it's
hit or miss.
Really
hit or
gross.
miss. Sometimes the woman's bathroom is worse.
I don't know
that part.
I see no line at the men's bathroom. I'm like, listen.
Yeah,
Hi.
yeah,
They're looking at me. I'm like, listen, I gotta go. I'm not waiting.
yeah.
No. I'm like,
These are
listen, I
real
gotta go.
things.
Yeah.
These are real DJ things.
Mm.
Crazy. But it's true though. This stuff is true.
Yeah. All right, ladies, I gotta bounce. I gotta be
Yeah.
somewhere.
You leave and
in
see.
like,
We
Thank
did it
you,
again.
guys.
You see the damn time?
Yeah.
9:20. 9:20. Thank you.